Right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live, and I'm proud once more to say we are live. This is the TNN TV Media Empire, and today we happen for be a Sunday, and it's the 11th of the 9th, 2022. There are many things happening across the globe. The most recent one and most significant as at this time where we dey do this broadcast, now the passing of the Queen of England. Ladies and gentlemen, suffice me to say that the Queen of England just passed. Um, the old woman just passed away. Um, that was 2 days ago. She passed. She was 96. She was the monarch for Britain for over 70 years. A significant and important platform such as the Then and Now would like to use the occasion for express with profound condolences to the family of the Queen. The Queen was a much beloved woman. Of course, there were many things around the Queen and in family, namely Prince Andrew, Prince Harry, Meghan, and so much more. But they're talking about the Queen. And everywhere today in the world, especially in Britain, all we hear about is about the Queen, the Queen, the Queen. She led this country for 70 years. And waiting, I understand now that she was a symbol of stability, of peace. She presided over the past 70 years. Having said this, again, may the soul of the late woman rest in perfect peace. Now we do have a king who has been in the waiting for a long time. The only difference here is when the queen take over, it was at a very tender age. She was somewhere abroad when she was called or told that her dad had passed. I think she was something like 23 or 25 years old. And imagine at that age, you therefore take this enormous burden for carry country along with you. And at that time, please don't forget that Great Britain was actually Great Britain. That's when this woman assumed the leadership of this great country. And she went on to lead for some 70 years plus. Her son, Prince Charles, no longer prince but king, has now taken that leadership role. He's now the King of England. He is 73 years old, I believe. Imagine when Imama bin take over, the mother was 25 years old. This king, where we get now Prince Charles, is now 73. So the difference here is the mama not be know very much at a very young and tender age, but Prince Charles been get the opportunity for decades and decades for learn about the monarchy. So he comes into the role with plenty of experience. So in the days, the weeks, the months, and the years to follow, we go see how that play out. Finally, we deepest sympathy and condolences to the entire bereaved family of the late Queen. May her soul rest in perpetual peace. Thank you very much. We self get we own cast them now we own country, and presently what we go through now voter registration. It's a process. There are many processes, but election is almost upon us. And then and now TNN TV Media Empire platform, they do the only tool where we can do for make sure say that we have the rub mouth and some of the things them where they happen in our country and try for provide information to we people them. And in this process, we they use people them of substance. We they use people them who are established, people who have done something, people who are professionals in different backgrounds and categories, people who are of relevance, people who are phenomenal, people where you can reference, where you can back check and see say indeed they do stand for something, they have done things, and etc. Not too long ago, we had the phenomenal Chernobyl on the program, and of course, he is doing his own program now. And yesterday, he had his episodes, the second episode, okay, of the frontline show, which was yesterday. Gradually, he will be the man in charge, as soon as you don't understand everything, that goes on with how the program can carry on. But today we did on a different pedestal altogether, which is the introduction of another person we get for the front a show. Now, this particular show, I'm going to introduce her shortly. But the thing where the ongoing in our country now, which is very, very pressing, is that of voter registration. Very serious. Fambulia de Askuna, please share this video. Waiting with the talk, of course, you not expect everybody for agree with you, but even if you not agree with us, it doesn't mean that you cannot share. The fact that you're listening means say you have a duty for allow other person for listen, so other person can also make a decision on whether what we say makes sense or it doesn't make sense. Today is a very special one, and it's the maiden broadcast of another person waiting for the front a show on this platform. This person, very important, very, very important, I must stress. In other words, he don't do work that are recognized, both internally and externally. He's an academic. He's phenomenal as well. Today, Fambulem, there are a few things that he's going to be talking about in the maiden program. And even myself, I'm taken by surprise in terms of how packed the maiden program is. Maiden programs are normally you come, you brush over and prepare people and for the ground. But this fellow is prepared, here for take a lift. It's like when a space rocket is about to take off, here for space. That's how much prepared the brother is. So anyway, what you were about for you today? Now something we very, very essential, very relevant as to the time we will talk about now. We go hear it from we brother. He go talk about himself a little bit. We go hear it some very wise words. He's very good at that. It's not like he's strange. He's been in the in-house of social media, but other than presenting his own show, he's been appearing on other people's show. But so relevant is the brother that he deserves in your show. And this is the opportunity here today that he's taken and going forward that he will be taking going into the future. What you wanna expect for your today now, mainly on voter registration and the complacency of the opposition. I believe see another person within the champion the cause go equally appear on the program. But who am I to say this? Ladies and gentlemen, no one for let una touch that dial. As una don't hear it, this program is very, very important, very, very significant. And this is the maiden program on the den now of a very special brother we are going to introduce shortly after we don't hear it, we normal intro to a program. So my normal advice to una is please don't touch that dial. So yes, like I've been saying, this is a very important show and a style democracy or name democracy on the brink. Just before I introduce my brother, of course, let's take a listen. These things are important in this particular show because that is the design, that is the way forward, and that sends the message as to what the brother intends for.
So register now from September the 3rd through to October the 4th. If you see we tell we adu.
I mean, not tell Una the brother very, very, determined for what he want to see and what he want to do. Take a listen, take a listen. your blessings. Salon go well, that's in the work go day. And then go they pay, then big businessman go calm. So we say be calm. Open go call it school, the king go to school. We go travel up and down, go bet in a town. The one they sing or play, all said go get small. This go to lie, we go to fight and five of us. That we they God for this one, but Salon Mila, Salon Mila, Salon how we on. Salon for me, Salon for you, Salon for me more. To win it on, to win it on, let me let go wrong. To win it on, to win it on, let me get some fun. The brother Salomon there and sister there. No, them man they left for sleep. Don't be creep. Yeah, you know, man they feel pain and strain, but I believe in the end. We must get gain. If we listen to the lesson, we'll get some blessing. Now we all the thank God for this one word. And now this way, we say we go get one word. Then we let Akata and Falamakata. Stop the badat and Kumbusa. Now by the way, they all them bad news is that so man they still fool for all with them goes. He goes so the car, so you talk this talk that he put for me. And just to think, you think you really want so man can go and corner and be member. Who said this thing good? On my look, even thinking we're just fun. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, this is not the introduction of a very big show to come, and we have no doubt that this show is going to score success. The reason why we say so, we can say that with confidence, is because it's going to be a factually based program, well researched by a brother who is well read. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, can I use the opportunity for presenting you now for the very first time on your own show on the TNN TV Media Empire, the brother, Mr. Mohamed Warisay. Mr. Warisay, welcome to your maiden program, Democracy on the Brink. I'm very, very excited, and I have no doubt that by the end of this program, there will be thousands who will appreciate your effort. Welcome to the program, brother.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kuruma. And to una the viewers, thank you for tuning to this program. I hope say una don hear my name, Mina Haji Mohamed Warisay. Mina been the former executive director for Democracy Sierra Leone. I want to start the show today with a parable where I learned from my mama, and I believe say me myself learn from in your mama, you know, in lineage. The parable or the wise word that you know, they plant cassava, they root cocoa. It not ever happen. When you plant cassava, na cassava you see. When you plant cocoa, na cocoa you see. With that wise word, then they will come back. We can talk about the meaning of that wise word day when the program they end. But for now, make I give you a small about my own background, but also they come from. Kuruma been on the introduce me at this show plenty time them, but I mean I think she's the best person for talk about himself, and the person himself. So me come from the background of a civil society. Before I become director of Democracy Sierra Leone, I've been to work with one other international organization at Sierra Leone. We've been the give plenty picking and scholarship. Then they call her AJRAF. I've been the program coordinator before I joined Democracy Sierra Leone, where I be Western Area coordinator. After that, I become the executive director for Democracy Sierra Leone. Democracy Sierra Leone attract not just national attention, but Democracy Sierra Leone attracted international attention. We been get space so free that every civil society, they operate freely, you know, and they do things them we want. They get funding with international organizations, and we do work without any hindrance, without any threat, without any disturbance. And I work with Parliament. I work with Parliament for long years. I work with Parliament for many years. I train parliamentarians them, especially first-time parliamentarians them and women them. I joined Democracy Sierra Leone for train communities to make them understand within a democracy, for making them know within days with democracy. What to make we choose Parliament, for make we advocate for we democracy now, because we find out, say, when we look at the law, where they govern we in Sierra Leone, the constitution, and other laws, then we find out says parliament gets enormous power. Many people don't know, even people who are educated, they not even understand the role of parliament. But we, in democracy in Sierra Leone, we champion that. We make sure, say, we begin for educate people them about democracy in Sierra Leone. What is it about? What is the role of parliamentarians? Whose kind of power they get? We go make corruption minimize. Whose kind of power we then get? We go make development come. We make many proposals, you know, to the parliament. Then I work with the late clerk of parliament, Ibrahim Sise, making so rest in peace. I work with the UNDP technical team within a parliament, Then 10 and day, I work with them for ensure, say, we not just build with parliamentarian capacity, but also we able for educate citizens them around what's in this democracy, what's it about, how for take on this democracy. We now have a few organizations that we bring Sierra Leone to parliament, to the well of parliament. The United Nations Democracy Fund executive director, we being based in New York, na the UN office. We project the attract them, one power project may attract them so much that they can get for go Sierra Leone, they can get for visit parliament, we can get for introduction to parliament, they get for get a relationship with parliament. We do all of them in there, them 10 and day, because we think, say, if we get an independent, if we get a strong parliament, if we get parliament, we get vibrant opposition, trust me, we believe, say, with democracy will be sustained, because the law give them people there the power. The law give them people there whatever, you know, we then put inside the law. Yeah, the president get power. No, get me wrong. But if, for example, if the parliamentarians have one pass a law, and then the president say, no, this law I no go give me assent, I no go give me blessing. That law they go to parliament. If 2/3 of the parliamentarians vote, that law they become law automatically, with or without the president. So now this kind of enormous power we didn't know say parliament gets, that I make within the work with parliament, especially the opposition, in effect for building capacity, effect for ensure say they get louder voice, because now them within the parliament, now them going for hold the other part of the government responsible or to account of the actions then. So today at the launch we made a program, like how Mr. Kromadi they introduced now, we are called A Democracy on the Brink. A Democracy on the Brink, we are designed for ensure say we able for educate the citizens of Sierra Leone, especially now that we are at the crossroads, especially now that we come to elections, because not forget, around elections, around the electoral calendar, now they most of the time we can get kuskas if we not take time. Now they we can get upheaval, now they we can get conflict, now they we can get clashes if we not take time, if we not handle them process and they well. So we introduce this program, A Democracy on the Brink, because we don't see the trend where we democracy they take. So now this program today, we want to talk about with democracy, how we restore democracy. I want to give people a small background about that. We want to talk about the big word, state capture. What's in a state capture? What's in the meaning of state capture? We want to talk about the election, successful they come in 2023, you know, the voter registration, and what's in the MPs, especially the opposition MPs, what's in the role for ensure say we get a fair process. And when they talk about the voter registration, when they talk about the corruption, where the Africanist press don't unearth within the system, we make when they see faulty machines, we make when they see battery we no charge and they can't run a center. We make when they see some centers and they don't even get generator. We make when they see the poor planning. When they talk about the corruption, I got for Brink Mr. Chernaba of the Africanist Press. We will go for interview. We'll get for interview about what he don't find out. He doesn't give you tidbits, because I think say they put together a report, or Africanist Press, they put together a report. If they give you tidbits about waiting, they don't find out. And again for ASCAM, waiting are the way forward. So for now, let's look at with democracy. We shall come out. In 1991, the late J.S. Momon been do what we call the constitutional review. It been usher in a multi-party constitution from a Republican one-party state constitution. Momon do this constitution, where would they use state today, by the way, for I should say other parties them they're able for practice, other parties them they're able for take part in the governance, other parties then able for contest for elections. They do that one day in 1991, and in 1996 we restore with democracy. We restore with democracy. Kaba emerged as the president of Sierra Leone after some serious challenges we been get for do with the current president, when Amada Bio, how he been one for stifle democracy, how he one for keep power, we don't overthrow Strasser, but we see civil society, you know, the role of them played and the designer Banguras, you know, the Festus Minas, this guy will be the SLTU again before Festus Minas go there. I mean, we see them people there from the trade unions, from the civil society group and other we see how them work for ensure say Madabio not continue for imposed himself by the people of Sierra Leone. We see how they fed stronger one. Say we get we first election within 1996. Madabio hand over to Tijankaba. Tijankaba rule from 1996 to 2002. We will get an interregnum we been brought about by the AFRC coup where Johnny Paul will lead. We've been get that one day for 6 or 9 months, you know, but then we get for because of the resolve of the people of Sierra Leone. Because people of Sierra Leone say no, this we need agree. We don't begin with democracy. We don't test them. We resolve say that democracy. You see why that civil disobedience. You see, so they're not be able to tension. The international community they help Sierra Leoneans then we be able to restore we democracy. We see Sakaba rule from 1996 to 2002, 2002 to 2007. But before that, then 10 and day, within then 10 and day, we get 2 important occasions. The election in 2002 and then the peace where we be able for Brink, who say the war be end, who say Kababin come out and announce the war done. So we've been there in a trajectory where for make we able for not just maintain with democracy, but strengthen with democracy. And so say we get freedom of association, we get larger freedom of speech. We get a situation who say government not just the benefits the few people that we get appointments, whether within the cabal, whether within the circles, but governance benefit the wider population. We see Usai Cabal rule until 2007. In 2007, Anes Kuma bin be opposition for the APC with 27 seats. We see how Anes Kuma been a challenge the SFPP then, how Anes Kuma been voice for us. We don't see plenty, publications. We're not going for sure on this program, but we see how Anes when have a serious opposition then 10 and how he been a challenge the SFPP. Take until 2007, he win the elections. But before that one day, we been get a census. We all might agree say we need census because what we do, we don't cause war, but we don't cause so many troubles from 1989 or so. We don't do census. We never do it again. So people that may see the need. So Kababin conduct census in 2004. So in 2007, Anes win. We see where Anes come. It consolidates, with democracy. It consolidates with peace for 10 years. And that's to the admiration of the international community, to people like the former president of America, President Obama, who say called Anes, he sit with at the White House, they praise Sierra Leone for the progress what they make, on democracy. I remember then and in 2008, we host a program where we celebrate International Day of Democracy. Democracy Salim, we host that program day. I've been get and we missed the UN resident representative then. He was an African. This guy was a Cameroonian. I don't remember the name again. But I remember in statements to me quietly, and I not be no say that na part of his statement where Ibn Kafuka make another program. So when you go to the program, when you go to the stage, that man make a statement. I just a quote now. I say, he says Sierra Leone they rush with democracy. I be like, hold on, what happened here? What in this man they say? But no, I think say it be specifically they try for draw your attention to the fact say we don't they allow beaucoup freedoms, freedom of expression, we do thing them, we did at speed. That's not how much the international world be recognized how the democracy will go. I just bring that in for let people to understand. So we see greater freedom, no opposition, not in jail. We see a lot of the opposition, they grab their money, they go on radio, they criticize the government, nobody ask them, especially starting with the young Kaba in 10. You see, say, musician and they sing, Kaba say, what in? Make them sing. If that is going to make them not go to bush again, make them sing. So for me, all of those things encourage we democracy for build up, for strengthening until 2018. We see an Escoma organized election, free and fair, the opposition win, it not be no fat, no trouble not been there, even though me get me questions, I get me views about that particular election day, because a lot of things that happen will make we believe say the possibility currently when Amadabio not to be the rightful winner when it comes to the ballot, which is why today the NEC not able to give you proper figures, not able to give you statistical figures based on constituency and all of them things and when it comes to the election result. I mean, it's scary because we don't see Christian Thorpe conduct election. It gives results steadily from ward, from polling center to constituency to district. It give me, but in 2018, we'll not see that one day. We'll not see none of them things that happen, and here we are today. In Sierra Leone, the legitimate opposition, when they talk, then they arrest them. When they make statements, even if that statement as long as the president feels that this statement not good for them, then they arrest them. Then they go lock up 1 day, 2 days, because you're not getting nothing for doing. Because you're not getting nothing for doing because you not get evidence against them. But we don't suppress. They're not suppressed with freedom, the space for no practice with politics. So much so that it don't reach to a point to say even the opposition, key members within the opposition, don't they participate in this, which I call a jolly ride. I think she then look and say a jolly ride. Okay, this not just left them so, not just manage. We're not going to talk about this. We're not going to raise them up. But these are the key things. These are the key points. Then they can talk about now this program today. Probably we'll get for the text messages from now. We'll not forget calls, but the technical team will take it to we first break. Also will listen to voter education message again. Also will listen to another song from Cool Donkey where he talk about Salomiland, Salonawion. I choose that song they deliberately for remind Sierra Leoneans them of how we restore democracy. What may happen, how it is so sweet, how we talk freely, how people them they sing freely, they big musicians them, now Sierra Leone, how them they do what they want for do, within that atmosphere. So we take one through a short break, and then we'll come back. We will do a deep dive into all of the program and all of what they happen. Until after the break, on the other side, I will see you now and go get a deep dive into the program. Thank you very much. And
I'm the British High Commissioner. I did talk to all Mr. Long Fambodeni for come out and go register, because now you're right as citizen. So So today, UK and Salone are out and about all over Freetown to observe voter registration. This is really important. For every person in Salone, it's your opportunity to make your voice heard at the ballot box. So register now from September the 3rd through to October the 4th. If you see we tell we adu. And I'm the British High Commissioner. I did talk to all Mr. Long Fambulbeni for come out Nado and go register. Because now you're right as citizen. So today, UK and Salone are out and about all over Freetown to observe voter registration. This is really important. For every person in Salone, it's your opportunity to make your voice heard at the ballot box. So register now from September the 3rd through to October the 4th. If you see we tell we adu.
Big Salone past me. Listen to the lyrics, the message, learn some lesson, and get some blessing. Put a water we forget, then they shoot and they loot. Your man they don't lie, but they picking they cry. The problem just a pile, nobody know they smile. And because it's all just a double people in crumble. See, they no go get cool, because it's no stable. What's it for do? That for stop the effects, make use of what we get, forgive and forget. Those will have been mercy, so we go well. It's God your blessing, Salone go well. That's how they walk go day, and then go they pay. Then keep business man go calm, so we say calm. But man go pull it too, the king go to school. Go travel up and down, let's go plenty in our town. The one with the sing or play, all said go get small. This is not to lie, we got to try 10 to 5 of us. That we thank God for this one, but Salone Milan, Salone Milan, Salone now we on. Salone for me, Salone for you, Salone for me more. To win it on, to win it on, never let go wrong. To win it on, to win it on, let me get some fun. The brother Salome there and sister there. No, them man they left for sleep. Don't begin creep. Yeah, you know, man they feel pain and strain, but I believe in the end we must get gain. If we listen to the lesson, we'll get some blessing. Now we all they thank God for this one word, and now this way, if we say we go get one word, then we let Akata and Falamakata. Stop the bad at and Kumbusa. Now by the way they all them bad news is scatter. So man they still cool, but all with them go school. He goes so they can, so you talk this talk that he put for me. And just to take, you think you really more so man keep going and remember who said this thing would do. One man look go up, if you
Thank you very much for that sweet song there. You know, Salone Milan, Salone now we all own. We got to make sure so we tell Marabio, say Salone now we all own, Salone at the land, and we don't need gun again. We don't need gun for govern. What you need now the law. What you need now the constitution for govern. You know, I choose this song here specifically because it rhymes with how we restore democracy, and this is not the struggle for how we maintain with democracy. This is not the struggle for how we uphold with democracy. You know, when I remember people that we know Warisay and we know democracy is doing. Now we've been telling us say there was regime change in the Ofun in 2018. When I remember, in fact, we talk about as early as 2017. Now I remember say now we been telling us say we get rogue civil society them. We don't gang up for bring about regime change, and we mean them, and it happened. And when I see them, when I hear them, when I see them, and today when I ask ourselves whether civil society then they will be to talk about regime change, we will be to talk about democracy, we will be to talk about things the way they happen with them, who side and they. Now people then they die, then they kill people them. Now then they gonna owe people that host them for ordinary demonstration, and they pull people in a door, go shoot them. Now hundreds of opposition members they behind bars. Nobody need to talk about them. They need to ask questions. Now we don't see who side neck they organize elections. They organize election in the way now in secrecy. As far as me know, as far as me concerned, NEC when they organize election for political parties, they organize election, not for nobody. NEC they organize election for nobody but for political parties. So if NEC they organize election, they do it in secrecy. Una ask una self, who side and civil society they are day to day for begin talk about the issues they are. So then they are left to una for judge completely. But this segment, what will they do at this segment? Now for talk about the opposition, politician them complacency, especially the one that within a parliament. Why we think say the state capture? Why we think say they're complacent? Before I go into the nitty-gritty, make I give you this news. I got a lot of people that already call me. I get plenty of people that already call me. But notably, I pick out few. Possibly somebody they're very close to the former president, and it's by Goma. They call me, they try to pacify me. For not left for hold Jerry Coco accountable. Somebody when a former honorable member of parliament, what they used to, then tell them they work parliament. And they call me, try to pacify me for make a go easy, the exact word, go easy on Chernobyl. Una lefa, sort of, una lefa. So for me, I've been surprised, I've been shocked that we did do something because we believe, say, based on what we think say the opposition will do, the only thing we stand between one of the people and taking Mother Bill out of power. Now then people there, yeah, as shocked say, people that they call me, as surprised people that they call me, they talk say, go easy. But so many other people back, they send information to me, they send good things to me, they give me encouraging words, say when I push, because I think what's happening on the ground is region. A lot of people know what's in the happen, but then they're afraid for talk up. Then they're afraid for come out. Because based on the audio they want to get, based on the message they want to get, based on the thank you, Mr. Warisay, based on the, I know say people that know, say people that do we don't compromise, but they're afraid. But notably, that then people there are pick out. To the extent this honorable, anytime me say, I wanna listen to this. To the extent this honorable tell me say, he say, bro, I think nothing new. You will just be repeating Chernoby's jokes about parliament. This now possibly supposed to be opposition. This now possibly supposed to be opposition. And they talk about Africanist press report. So say just the jokes about Chernoby's parliament, blah 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 blah. Say democracy is the voice of the majority. You say we are APC. We are in the majority, and we shall have our way. The minority now on our voice no more. I mean, these are the crux of the text message. As if to say, they threaten me say, when I will say what you now have to say, but we the majority, we will get to way. So, what's on the signal to me that the plot against APC, the plot against the opposition, is wide, is deep, and it's scary. For me, you don't reach that point the way I think, say, may this not discourage any voter for go register. Please, I beg. I just want to make that point today. Let this not discourage anybody for go register. Do anything where you can, do anything where you're able. Just like when you read the British Commissioner tell you, say go register. Because the only thing we stand between we for no pull Mother Bill and the Mother Bill for staying at power. Now, then people there, we are the bottleneck. And surprisingly, the first time this I don't see them that the whole world, the opposition they make coup against itself. The opposition they form coup against itself. The opposition they come against itself. They go against your interest. It is scary. I want to take on a step by step. Let's talk about the issue there. Why make we think say the opposition complacent? Why them compromised? One, they removed 10 members of parliament. These members of parliament, they are very, very key. I remember these are then Sirajin, Rollins Kamara, then Timbo. People the way you believe say if they in parliament, probably most of them say when they happen, so for they happen. But they look, they shifter, they look at the one the way they think say go get for be troublesome, then fish them out, then pull them. Mother be pull them by force in parliament. They not conduct election, we pull them in parliament. He replaced them with SLP. The opposition in parliament, the leader of the opposition in parliament, he did nothing. Somebody asked me one question. He say, what is if now you? what you go do? I say, Mother, you know, see me as opposition leader. I get legitimate responsibility. I say, Mother, you know, go and see that one day. You know, that will be the greatest nightmare we will ever face. Me, what they say, I get legitimate position as an opposition against Mother Bio. Because I know say as you owe me 1 o'clock, by 2 o'clock, you don't left me back. Because the whole world will ask you question, what do you do? But no, we know the see with this opposition. We need to see the opposition we been there in an Escoma in the parliament. We need to see the opposition and they. We need to see them. I go to think them where we will get evidence of. I remember an Escoma been get so many things that we been the challenge. We been in a parliament then and day. Una bear with me. Small make up pull some just some of the headlines then they. Make I pull them for una. Let una see. Yeah? Let una hear within the opposition within a parliament, then 10 and day, the opposition. Even though social media not been there, even though proper way for inform the voters not been there, even though we get thing them where they stop that opposition day for like able for come out, but yet still able for come out, able for say most of the thing that we able for say because waiting do it be no say, unless we no say it represent people them, unless we no say it represent people them where they not just the party, the life of the people and they are at stake. Look at now, this now Sierra Leone and it's by Kurma demands explanation from government. I just give you the headlines then because we get Bokutin for talk. Yeah, this one again, Sierra Leone. Septimus Kaikai replies and it's by Kurma. And it's by Kurma, that be the opposition leader in the parliament with just 27 members of parliament. Yeah? When I look this way again, don't know fatigue. Kaba should explain. This now and it's Kurma. Now they charge government. Yeah? Anes Kurma challenges Septimus Kaikai. Where Anes Kurma challenge the government, Septimus Kaikai now be the Minister of Information and Day. Where he reply, Anes Kurma challenge him back. Say no, this is wrong. You understand? Many of these stories about how the opposition been the charge government, how the opposition been the whole government responsible. Come to SLPP, we get opposition leaders, opposition parliamentarians and then day. Where now been the late Tambasa, may so rest in peace. Param, where now the current clerk of parliament. Those guys in opposition at the time, then they beat the table. The speaker had the court. When they can radio, when they come for can talk about the issues where they burn Sierra Leoneans them, you understand, say the opposition dip and talk. You know, say the opposition dip and talk. But now they will tell you, say, what in any time you say, oh well, what you all Cherry Coco do? What you all the MP then do? Then they afraid. The answer now, if you cannot stand the heat in the kitchen, just get out. If you're not able to stand the heat, just come on a door. Just left there. 10 of your members and then pull them on procedurally, on democratically, you not do nothing. You not say nothing. You not rally the parliamentarians say we're going to walk out of parliament until we see something happen, until action be taken. We'll not see that when they happen. We'll not see them do them at all. It just go quiet. 10. The next thing we'll talk about, the Africanist press in 2018, 2017, 2018. The driving force for the opposition at the Africanist press, then publication. And they ask una, the people of Sierra Leone, who stem on another ever year the opposition at parliament, they talk about the Africanist press, the many evidence where they put forward, where they bring canto na Sierra Leone, who stem on another ever year, then they talk about them. In 2017, 2018, 2015, Mother Bio, the opposition MPs and all of them, now Africanist press in revelation about corruption in the APC government then. Now in them they use. Now have been in Trump. Even the press, the SLPP press, then 10 and day. Then they produce Africanist press, then publication on corruption, page by page, week in, week out. But today, even the opposition papers them, when they see them they write, they don't pay the all. or they don't pay most of them into silence, especially when it comes to Africanist press in publications about corruption. Then make let one believe say it's not important. Who did they do that one day? Now the opposition, because otherwise the opposition, if you don't want to talk self in a parliament, they will tell them newspaper them and then waiting a column. We now work with Africanist press and we now bring evidence with Africanist. I mean, we now use them against the government, but no, they talk about them. We not necessarily, not necessarily, but we not hear these guys. They talk about them. Go to the radio station where they call themselves Democracy Radio Station. Go to the TV station. Them. There's no one for talk about them. It's no news. As far as I'm concerned, it's fine. In fact, despite the tangible evidence where Africanist press they give you, because nobody know for deny the evidence there. You know him for deny them. So what they do? Then they water them down. Who do they do this? Now the opposition. Now they do them because they're in charge of their own newspaper. Even we own press. They start for point Africanist press, then corruption issue them. Until reach a point, they stop. They reach a point, they stop. You can't see we own press. They bring Africanist press. You know, the corruption. So what's happened? What's wrong? What's not happen? It's part of the state capture. Sierra Leoneans, this is not a wake-up call. This is not a wake-up call. The only thing we stand between us removing Mother Bill and the regime stay. It's not a regime change. The regime stay. Now the opposition, especially those in parliament, that they stand, now we wait with the people, that they stand, now we wait. But we will triumph. I believe so. Let's talk about the other thing. This we honorable, when I honorable child now, but I get, trust me, I mean, get plenty of respect for them. I mean, you know, when you see young person, young attain some kind of position na society, you know, you able to talk to them, you able to deal near them. Trust me, it could be a jealous for any young person. But this case, not to jealous you. This case, now for push them into action. We see the Africanist, we see Cheriko go now the international parliament. Also, go and go talk to ECOWAS. They go to the ECOWAS parliament. A Gambian member of parliament, a grab and talk says Sierra Leone gets crisis. Sierra Leone get problem. There is an issue with Sierra Leone. So not to just the removal of 10 members of parliament, not to just, you know, it points out issues then. We wrong na Sierra Leone. So we shock and we surprise. What happened? Honorable Chernoba, we not the leader, we go represent Sierra Leone at that meeting day. He grabbed and shamed that politician when he talk for him. That foreign politician when he talk for him. He shame him. Chernoba boldly tell ECOWAS parliament, say, no problem running at Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone, they are at peace. There is nothing wrong. That not be a signal. Say something not right now. That is not the role of the opposition. That's not the role of the opposition. It go now another forum again, internationally, where we get the fake census where they depend develop. Where they depend develop. This man was asked, instead of his talk about the issues, the issues around the census, no, the man said, in the defense of the BO government, he said the census, the international community split on the census. You not criticize the census, so you not tell me say this thing wrong, that thing wrong. No, his statement specifically where the press pick up now that they split. So what he sent to the international community now that, oh, hold on, sometimes what you talk now is different from what you other people think. So for me, now only a government mouthpiece then go do that day now an international stage. An opposition no go do that one day. No, what going to be issue I go talk about? What is burning us as an opposition to the illegal census? Now here we talk about. Not for go talk say the international community split on this issue. The electoral laws, 2000 and you remember in July or so this year, the Africanist press also start for put out publications, say they want to pass bad law na Sierra Leone. They want to pass this law for make sure say the NCRA be part of the process. The NIN number it become a requirement. Oh, they see they happen today. the members of parliament, they vex, especially the opposition members of parliament, they vex by Africanist press. They say, oh, Africanist press, they talk things that we're not true. Finally, the bill come. We begin talk about them. People that begin talk about them. So they not come back and change their statement to say, oh no, well, we mistake. Oh no, well, we'll not be aware. Oh, no, they not come back and make at least a formal statement saying that we be lie, not to Africanist press be lie, because we don't see all of these things, the PR, this and that, how Mada be attempt for do waiting they want for do with the elections. They not come back and do that one day. Rather, they launch a campaign now against Africanist press. They don't see us say, this man is not served with interest if we want to give Mada Bio a second term. This is not the opposition, the position today. Or the key members within the opposition, not them position the state today. So I ask a question. And this question I ask him to Honorable Chairman Oba of the APC. I don't ask him to them. Waiting Chairman Oba of the Africanist press, when are you full of brother? What he get against you? Wait for make it come out and say something they will not write about you when it comes to the ruling party. Waiting. I don't get no answer. Till tomorrow, I don't get no answer. For say, hey, no, this man malice me, oh, this man will get malice, oh, this man will get palabra trade, oh, no, nothing like that. I don't get. So it make me for believe, say, not to just the Mada Bio regime, even the opposition, they fed the Africanist press. Waiting for the hell by now, because then they will help them for bring out a lot of corruption issues. A lot of issues them we get for do. For me, this is very significant. To the point that one honorable na parliament go on Facebook and try for accuse Africanist press, say, oh, all the Africanist press they write, that means na fake. Where the Facebook people them go against them, what he do? They go and delete them. First, he said they hack your account, but a lie. They go and delete them. But yet still, Sierra will not hear, will not see no press release from the opposition of parliament distancing themselves from that particular post of that member of parliament, an opposition member of parliament. Today, will not see nothing. So, I don't know what thing we go talk again for long. I believe say the opposition compromised. You know, but the way they say because it not will serve their interest if they go against Mada Bio, because the plan is for give Mada Bio a second term in office, for continue for destroy democracy, for continue for seize with freedom, for continue for weapons in talk, they arrest them, for continue for bribe in way. The other thing we'll talk about, we can to state capture Sierra Leoneans before I go to the queue. Before we go to the break. Now the press. Sludge, when I not say government they give them $50,000 every year now. $50,000. Big money. We come to Lyons. Now plenty money. 500 million. I believe so around that one. 500 million Lyons every year. So for that, you see the sludge. They're not worried again. You know, because as a journalist, one pan the role that we get for perform. Now for whole government accountable. How the whole government accountable? We get evidence of corruption of anything and day, like we Mada Bio, fake receipts, then catch them, you know, bring and come out. But no, this press, we need again. And not just like the opposition press. And not just like the civil society. We don't need the civil society to talk anymore. So what happen at Sierra Leone, before we go to the break, we don't get what you call state capture. Mada Bio, they spend money, they use power, they use force, and nobody not believe say they can galvanize, they can organize, especially people who get legitimate positions for come against Mada Bio. Rather, then they come against the one them when they come against Mada Bio. Ironic, not so. Then they come against the one them when they come against Mada Bio. Ironical, but I mean that's the truth. That's not the truth. That's not what's happening right now. The Africanist press, where Mada Bio being used, then 10 and day in tourism for hold the APC accountable, where the SLPP MPs and they will use for hold the MPs, the APC government accountable. Now, the opposition, na parliament, they don't want to talk about that one day. They don't want for you read that word day. They don't want for go near Africanist press because Madabi will stop, it will stop the flow. But anyhow, we'll take a short break. We'll come back. We will take the registration. We will tell you now about corruption within the registration. I will tell you now about the Electoral Commission. Within the SSF talk, that is strategic plan about the NCRA. We will tell you now. And why make the opposition now after 7 days? Now we see them pull a statement. However, first of all, let's say thank you to Honorable Chekoko for that press release. Even though it's not enough, even though it come late in the day, but me say in a democracy, it's better. It's better late than never. Until I see una the other side after the break, I say una hold on, una keep the tune, una stay tuned because more day for reveal. I believe say the technical team they try to put together the next jingle. So make I just continue with this. The fact that in the registration process, okay, I don't see the technical team don't come at the background.
And I'm the British High Commissioner. I did talk to all Mr. Lomfambuleni for come out na door and go register because now you're right as citizen. So today, UK and Salone are out and about all over Freetown to observe voter registration. This is really important. For every person in Salone, it's your opportunity to make your voice heard at the ballot box. So register now from September the 3rd through to October the 4th. If you see we tell we adu.
Thank you very much for that quick jingle the way we now talk about Australians not talk about the registration now. In an election, one of the major events where they conduct now voter registration. The voter registration, Sharon Obado explained to her about the different, system where they in place in Sierra Leone for capture data of people when it comes to development, when it comes to identity, when it comes to politics. But what we talk about now the voter registration, where NEC supposed to do as part of them program in the electoral cycle for organized election. They're not a grab overnight and just a voter registration. No, they get so many activities then when they undertake before they come to the voter registration. And for transparency, for accountability in all of those processes, they're supposed to involve who that? The stakeholders. Who that are the stakeholders? The key stakeholders are political parties. Waiting do because you want to ensure say you're transparent. You want to make sure say they understand the process as they go step by step so that you know we left room for questioning. When we see 2007, political parties they run for one neck, they run for one neck. 2007, 2012, 2018, waiting do because you the neck, you need to conduct election for yourself. You conduct election because people in the way they compete in this election for make them see who that the people that go vote for. And that make you want for ensure say you get people, you get them in an inclusive process who side them all go participate so that Boku question no go there tomorrow. Like you now, some of the activities them we neck the or ECSL they undertake before they come to the actual voter registration. Yeah? What did they do now for this activity? When I pillar 4, then they review the map, then they review the registration centers them, then they look at the ID card them, then see how best, then they put in place strategy for introduce ID card them, then they look at the procurement of machines and biometric machines, then they look at procurement of card readers, then they look at how then they receive information, not how then they work with NCRA, how then they receive information from NCRA for help them in the drive for ensuring they get good data. For procure them external device them, where the accessories them, where the computer need, where the printer need, where the NCR need. And then for put together and transfer the data from whatever source where they don't get them to the main server within a neck. And then after all of that, then come to the voter registration exercise. Then come to the voter registration exercise. After we they done that one day, then they go to exhibition. After we they done exhibition, then they go to inquiry. Might give you this proper explanation. When you done, before you do the registration, you for bring the political parties then. You for form a team. Now that we don't use for see from 2012, 2018. Bring a team, bring people and come together, bring people them where therefore be critical about this issue. Tell them how you procure the printers them or the machines them, how you procure the assets them, how you do the software, whose kind of software you do, how them will verify their software they have for say this software where you gonna carry my no go double register, where you can afford to enable for double register. The opposition get opportunity for not just look at them thing they have before they start registration, but they're able to independently verify say waiting neck the GUI is authentic. Waiting neck they put out there is authentic. Then test them, then prove them, then confirm them before we come to voter registration. Una ask una MPs, una ask the APC, una ask the 21-man committee. Waiting them in do for check all of these processes. Oh, they're not sabi about election. APC not sabi about election again. The 21-man committee, that people and they will check about the control. They don't know about election. They don't know say all of these processes here they happen. So now that make una see the whole process of registration is just flawed. They need to manage them. They need to patch them. This is not patch now. What they don't see say, especially that the opposition is stronghold, they are the serious trouble. They need to patch them now. And the opposition, as in opposition, they not come out for make statement until after 7 days. Somebody asked me, what if I do what they say? Now before the registration, I for don't participate in them all their process and day. I for don't day, I for don't ensure say I know what in neck they do, which kind of software where they use. We get to experts them where they verify the software then they before we come to the registration. But this opposition, they're not doing, they're not worried. They're not think say important. Oh, then they wait more for registration. Or 7 days after registration, that they tell you the beginning issue. Yes, it's okay. You're not late. You're not late. We still get plenty thing. What we get for do now for make sure say we hold the ECSL accountable. We need for do them. We need for do them. If we not do them, you don't know which kind of data we NEC get for give you. You don't know what thing get for happen tomorrow. Where people then go with their voter card, now polling centers, they're ready for vote. Especially in the opposition stronghold. Because we don't see people away, the name, then they inside the NCRA, the National Civil Register. We don't see people them, they don't go to center, they tell them, say, we're going to name no day. So there's flaw. There's flaw in the system. You take magician for let you know that one day. No, you not take magician for let you know that one day. And this will MPs them, when they're the opposition, then they don't tell me. They say the NCRA not going for mixed on this process. The NIA not going for mixed on this process. But I tell you now, let's shock you with this information. Let's give you this information. We all work and for investigating thing there and Brink Cantona. The Electoral Commission of Sierra Leone then get a document where they call the strategy. This strategy now 2020 to 2024. Always, we know so they can do them within 5 years. 5 years cycle, where they capture all them in them. So it's a big strategy there. Now they tell you all to get for happen, including post-election thing they will get for happen. Inside that document, when I go now pillar 4, when I see voter registration, when the NCRA, when the NEC do the analysis, then Bookman and call it SWOT analysis, strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. When they do the analysis, they find out, say, under the threat, the biggest thing where they threaten the voter registration are the codes. NCRA NEC voter registration. This is now under threat that they read for now. All I tell you for now, go there. NCRA NEC voter registration misunderstanding can undermine NEC constitution or constitutional responsibility, and also anyone puts there, of the voter registration. Can undermine the NEC constitutional responsibility of voter registration. I repeat that one more. This particular NCRA, where they are mixed with the voter registration, NEC identifies, say, if they do them, it's a threat to the whole process for say it will undermine the two they see today, the registration, the exercise itself. What in do? Because there are two different activities, not to the same. Registering 0 to 1 year, picking them, say to 100 year, mommy them or daddy them, and for voters, we don't turn 18, we get eligibility for go vote. Now, two different occasions, even in America now. Even in America, why don't go, even though my name there as Mohamed Warisay in the system, say I get driver's license in Maryland, I can use that driver's license for travel the whole country. But we come on voting. Sat inside and they why they go and they ask me, you want to register for vote? So it's a separate thing. That thing that way for be separated. They not get any bearing. They not get any, you can take the data from the civil registration. You try for manager, or you try for reconcile them with whatever data you get for voters. When a difficult process, because it takes technicality, not just to grab them all and mix data. You can forget proper data modelers. You can forget proper people the way they analyze data for let them able to do that one day. But the significant one for saying now that even NEC or ECSL, the bidder is fine. Say, not a weakness they say, not a weakness they say, pan the SWOT analysis. They say this thing will pose a threat, it will undermine the process of registration. It go undermine neck the constitutionality. So that make when I find out say they may try to pass that law. They not pass the law, but yet still then go on for use NCRA. Interestingly, the opposition MPs not think say anything wrong with this. This, when I go find out my document, Pillar 4 of NEC strategy 2020 to 2024. They don't identify this problem. They don't see this issue. We were there past security, we will identify weakness, we able to manage them internally. We will find threats within the system or outside the system, now eliminate with the eliminator. You need a Brink and you need to encourage for lady around the environment, for lady around the network. You the eliminator, you the family for eliminator, because a threat can cause any kind of thing. Where would they sit today? So, una opposition MPs and not see issue with this, then complacent. Then okay. To the extent Peter Conte, when are the chairman, he makes statement on Twitter. He say, impressed with NEC, the way NEC they address the few challenges. Now, what done they go to me word? In the few challenges where they then after when European Union don't tell me say there are technical challenges. Then after when new National Elections Watch don't tell me say there are functional or malfunctional challenges. There are very serious challenges. And now we don't see evidence from Ali Kaba, the former rebel collaborator. Ali Kaba, when a member of the SLPP, a senior member of the SLPP, we get an audio. Before they play the audio, I explain small. Before they play the audio, I explain small. Sorry, video. Usai openly, the brag, the bluff, say what thing they happen so by the electoral, upon the registration process. Now what they non-plan for ensure say they're able to rig the election come 2023. Hello? Hello, Sierra Leoneans, hello? Ali Kaba say, what they happen with the registration process so? Now what they non-plan, all of these are part of the plan for ensure say they rig the 2024 election. In fact, they want for ensure say no runoff not take place. I want now we watch that video there. Let's see. For when I want to say it, let us see what Ali Kaba say. I want to ask una opposition MPs or opposition leaders what they don't do about that. Lord be as small when they see the video just now because the technical team I think they try to put them in place for player for we.
For make sure say come 2023 we win hands down, no runoff. Because we will get a chance for that. Now they will give us a get hope, not so. Yes,
from the horse's mouth. This is from the horse's mouth.
If we do that, they are telling us as the first 18 and I'm game over, no runoff. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And at goal landing, all these voter registration, the goal now for make sure say come 2023 we win hands down, no runoff. Because we will get a chance for that. Now they will give us a get hope, not so.
Yes, sir.
From the horse's mouth. Again, I say from the horse's mouth. Somebody there near Ali Kaba, we feel so uncomfortable with that statement that it between head. As a man talks so, like, oh my goodness, this is not something for saying at the media. Oh, this is not something for saying at the open. That man they between head. But yet still, we had no statement from the opposition. We want for there when a candidate go to the election and win. By now, whether on a weekend, whether on a Sunday, whether on a Monday, somebody asked me this, and the answer again. If not me, not the opposition, I get a legitimate position. By this time, the whole world, they go don't send pressman them, na Sierra Leone. Because why make this significant? Not to waiting is saying a public. No, not to run of a watch. What is saying a public no matter. Now what you not say na public, now it matter, and now we have to investigate. That is why we need to go again and look at the whole process where the ECL says they can conduct in the name of voter registration, because there is a thing where they call software. Software now outside in the bill, now then they give them any kind of instruction. Especially the people working at the back end, people in the background where they play with that software. Because I will get the software in the operating system. If I get the access code or the source code to that software, I can do that American here. I operate that software. I tell them exactly what you for do, what you not for do. Where you can McKinney, where they register 10 people and pull 5. Where you register 50 people and pull 2. You tell the system anything you have for tell them, because what you do, the opposition not go for go verify these things. They not go for go investigate these things. They not go for go ask. They could be not they see it happen in 2012, in 2018. They could be not they see with the conduct election. People not just scared. They not just worry. So what this man say, what he say with confidence, say this whole process now for ensure say second round's not even there. But on opposition, they not worry. After Peter Gotte say neck impressively, they can address the issues and they. Yeah. So we go on for talk about the 21-man committee where Adrian Fisher set up. He puts na Cherry Coco in hand. He puts na Sam Sumana in hand. Because Sam Sumana definitely na him after Peter Gotte represent. The 12-man them. Now, Cherry Coco, then they represent. Then they get, so these two people, they get control of the 21-man committee. From where they launch the 21-man committee, where they scrap una party executive, from where they launch them, tell me one achievement where they don't make. One, I just want one. I ask a senior APC member one of these days, I said, tell me one, just one. And the achievement of the 21-man committee, for what they set them up over 2-3 months now, give me one of the achievements what they don't do for the party, for make sure so when I get hope, say in 2023, when I will win the elections. The person said none. I said, really? He said none. He said, nothing. You know, see where the 21-man committee not achieve up to today. Yet, when I'm comfortable, when I think, say, oh, this is okay, this is in the work at the background. Oh, this is not part of the state capture plan. Adrian Fisher in ruling is part of the state capture plan. Adrian Fisher in ruling not come ordinarily. It not come ordinarily. It's part of the state capture plan. So, if we look at them thing, all the thing there, I also highlight Cherry Coco in press release. You know, in press release, one side is very interesting where you talk about the conclusion. But he also said the labor work for put in place certain things, but yet still now una as APC, ordinary people, especially the young people within APC, own a life they don't destroy, they don't kill most of our company, where they don't left in abject poverty. Now una get for ask the party then questions there. But I repeat, make that not discourage you now. In not discourage you now in any way for go register, because there is hope. Where then they plan their own plan, God they plan your own plan. What go stop we, what go ambog we, now if we not register. Because you know what man, you plan your own plan, God your own plan, none of the master plan. So for that reason, I encourage you to say, una register for votes. Una register in a number for votes. So before we go to the break, because we don't forget the break, I go for bringing Chernobyl of the Africanist Press. And they can't tell me about corruption within NCRA. We go for ask them, certain questions. We get for ask them. Think them. We don't find out about documents. But that interview going to be short because we dey run against time now. China we don't talk to that plenty. But me, I get specific questions they want for ask Chair Robert of the Africanist Press because I need for let answer that question in public view. So we wait for the break, we wait for the jingle, the registration jingle, and then we wait for the cool donkey in song we will play before we I will see you on the other side. Not patient.
I'm Lisa Chesney and I'm the British High Commissioner. I did talk to all Mr. Lomfambuleni for come out now and go register because now you're right as citizen. So today, UK and Salone are out and about all over Freetown to observe voter registration. This is really important. For every person in Salone, it's your opportunity to make your voice heard at the ballot box. So register now from September the 3rd through to October the 4th. If you see we tell we adu.
No justice for the poor. Better school same no day. Coats and necktie, so like life. How much I'm not in no yard. You make we pull up a businessman and woman. Una left and ram. Smugglers una left the baroque. Yes, then we all left Kukujuku. Bele wapi, and I am me. Then they talk, rushy. It is so corruption. You good or you bad, you rich or you poor. Corruption. It is so corruption. Yeah. I can go. We get good. Diamond, silver copper. Tell me why silver diamond copper. Tell me, huh? Mr. Corruption. Who got the compete? Miss Corruption. Who got the compete? Black man sorry na laugh. We're no back, but them give it chop. Then get mine for chop, we let get back. They get out the golden hammer. I'm a run out for one man police staff. Make you smart on the roof now up.
Wow. We don't get the big man in SSF. We don't get the big man. I can feel for calling Honorable Chenoba, you know. Because of the name, not just because of the name, because of the kind of work they do, you won't get so much honor, you won't get so much prestige, you won't get so much credibility. Because one thing I can tell people that I know when they come see possibly say no, what did he say? Na lie. You just say no, we not listen to them. but you know, for me, important for them say what he say na lie, then you pull credibility for that person. So you don't need to tell people that against say we not listen to them. But in this case, we not see that they happen. People they don't even talk about that. They don't even say no, we don't challenge this. We find out saying a lie. We don't challenge them. We find out saying a fake. So Chernobyl, we don't see the voter registration process. It be marred by so many, not just irregularities, but also technical and other challenges, malfunctioning of the machines them, charger them, where them buy, according to what they claim that England and buy them, not charge, how then they ensure say, them put in place a system for get a software for make be able for capture the data them. We don't see inside the data and the software them. People then they go to the centers and they talk say, oh no, you name not the one very prominent person the APC. I remember he put out a video. He say, "In go with the NCRA. He go now with your NCRA card. He go na a site now one village where you go for go register." He say them go na the machine. Then find out say he name not the day. So then tell us say name not the day. Say again difficulty. Who side them pull the name? Now the last election we be register that number that voter ID card is saying now you get. So all of these challenges we don't see them. But what is surprising for me, Cherno, now that Then people are they can talk to me because in earlier I talk about people away. They call me, say, hey, but when I go easy on Chernobyl, on Cherry Cocoa, when I go easy on. I said, I don't understand this because as far as we know, Cherry Cocoa, Adrian Fisher hand over the 21. Now hand over basically the party too because now he give more members within the party, 21-man committee than any other person. Say you select 12 man them wait for the part of this 21 man. You know what I mean? So that make we what they do now for hold accountable. Waiting do we not get interest for take position at APC. Me, I always say that one day. I did APC then I said for 10 good years, and I never be board member. And I never go to person for lobby. Say, but let them make me board member. No, I'm not ever member say that happen. In 10 years. So not to say I will jealousy because what you do, thank God, I get capacity. I will drag. I will put food on my family in table. They're able to eat what they eat for the day. So you not get nothing for telling me. So I left that one day. Waiting make this silence. Waiting cause this loud silence. What we see from the opposition, especially way by now, therefore they use most of the evidence here for whole government accountable. What make you think say they know they talk about them? Even the opposition, China, you agree with me too. Even the opposition papers in Sierra Leone, the opposition news channels in Sierra Leone, no one for talk about the corruption we on earth. What's in the challenge?
Well, I just been to go back. I don't listen to pretty much this show, and I want to say this is a very great discussion, and I want to commend you for the courage and the time.
Thank you.
Where you don't take for come out now. Me have been a wonder about this because at least the first time I get a newspaper article published in Sierra Leone was in 1996. Yeah. But I can always count me years of practice, beginning with the end of the war.
Yeah.
For a reason. But for the last 20 years, and even during the war, we'll not ever get a situation where this silence, even when we get Sujaman government, NPRC, we get AFRC, we get the war.
Yes.
We'll never get this kind of silence. Civil society and journalists and politicians. Even under one party rule, we get tablet and so I always wonder why there is this silence. So we all be one for believe say maybe everybody in the country afraid matter because that's not the impression where the politicians and the opposition they try for give it. Yeah. Now looking at the situation and based on what we don't come for see, we don't realize it is a complete state capture. Complete level of state capture. Initially, when they think so was a state capture, and Mother no more don't dominate the democratic institutions. You don't appoint SLPP people then anti-corruption commission and all of them. What we not being realized initially now the fact that a significant sector of the opposition, as you don't already talk about it, which Mr. Don they talk about in the last couple of weeks, has been compromised, has been bought by the government, and for some reason, we would say by people like if you say. Show me evidence that APC people. It's which nobody talk say Fatima Bio don't take money, they show the bank details. No, what we talk about now, political corruption, the collaboration between interest groups and the country.
Now holiday quick. When somebody tell me say where the evidence of that, and they ask them, I say where the evidence say the opposition use Cherno in evidence for whole government accountable.
Yeah.
Now you short and quick answer that one the way they give people.
For me, because I've been so busy with team they try for unearth the higher levels of corruption and what make we decide to go into that kind of detail.
Yeah.
Now when we can realize it, we talk about COI, the government make corruption as the flagship of governance in the country, the flagship of governance operation to the extent that they even fool the one whole world.
Yes.
The one whole world, then the first 2 years, believe say Mother Bill, they fight corruption.
Yes.
Because it been just to go after the old government people then. Yes. So we can find out, say, the significant sector of the opposition, both in parliament and outside of parliament, will work under APC, where they're not accused of corruption. Not because they're not being corrupt too, now because they don't sign deal with Mother Bio for make they're able to enhance in your own continuation in power. For make
second term bid.
Second term bid, for make them disable
opposition
to the government so that no matter how Mother Bio and government become bad, they go able for ensure say it do a second term.
Yes.
With the understanding that after we inside don't come on, they go pass the baton over to them. So any bad way you don't do now, including the killing of people, basically we call it stealing of money, stealing of lives.
Yes.
Theft of lives and theft of public finances, you will get away with them. So now you see this brazen impunity, reckless impunity on the part of the SLPP administration, not just because there is no opposition right now, because they no say, then likely get people away and don't already believe say, wait and come on and then go. And not only that, I understand, these people are also beneficiaries.
Yes.
Some of the contracts and companies and agreements they see from the airport agreement.
Okay.
So all of the other many agreements, and now we don't decide, say, now I get for look into parliament, not just about talking about parliamentary failure of parliamentarians for live up to the responsibility. Now I get for examine. Now I see that they even give them a body for begin talk about, oh, parliament don't pass 300 agreements, 300 bills. No, that's not what I'm talking about. We are going to publish
how they come about the agreements
of some of them bills and how they were influenced and some of the agreements and opposition politicians and you benefit when they get from this airport contract na Lungi, take her to ferry contracts to all of this.
Wow.
There was this, we published this thing about last year, towards the end of last year, we published this article. We talked about Mother Bill signed agreement for auction the ferry terminal them for 25 years. We say with no agreement, with no.
I remember that.
I called some of the APC parliamentarian there. In fact, I would talk and boldly. I spoke to even the opposition leader of the APC in parliament. I asked him. I said, would I be ever aware of this agreement? He said no. So if you read the article, say no aware. Now ask and say, in fact, 9 point myself to the fact say no agreement or reconfirm the fact say no agreement supposed to pass the parliament without the approval of parliament. So I will go back to that article there and even read and look at President leases country's ferry terminals to Turkey for 25 years without parliamentary approval.
I remember that one day.
So this article we publish on November 28, 2021. I want to read this section. I know this is program just Musa talk. Musa describe all how they give the company and everything. I come to the point where I even asked that opposition MPs make I go on the specific side. Musa say opposition MPs who we talk to or members of parliament where African Express talk to confirm say this agreement, they're not sabi butter. So, but what do you expect? That when you publish this kind of article, members of parliament are supposed to question.
Yeah, especially the opposition, they're supposed to take action.
They're not for doing. So they not do that. But I quote now for talk say we talk to parliamentarians in Sierra Leone contacted by the African Express expressed surprise that the government will grant such a strategic agreement without their discussion or approval. They say the agreement was not presented to Parliament for approval. Further, the agreement poses another legal problem. It was never preceded by a public tender and competitive bidding process as required by public finance laws of Sierra Leone.
Okay.
But what I can find out later, that these parliamentarians who I talk to, they be aware of this stuff.
Oh my goodness.
They be aware. In fact, I can't.
Oh my goodness.
When the other company then can take the agreement, then can take the contract in their hand, I can't find out say they had even complained. One company be doing an agreement with government for 5 years, Greek company. That company felt violated because this Turkish agreement don't violate their own agreement. Like when you give somebody concession, you take them back now and you give other company. Then even complain to the parliamentarians, including the opposition at parliament. I see that correct. So when these parliamentarians in the opposition that I contacted for verify some of these things, I not put their name there for obvious reasons because I tend to say I was also under
the innocent. Yes.
I'm infested in the frayed mother bill. So for protect the identity, I even say parliamentarians. I don't say that they give me the story and I cross check some of us.
Yeah, of course, you go cross check.
This president get this mind for give agreement, 25-year lease agreement, parliament no approve, and parliament will approve this guy yourself. Then parliamentarian they say they not be no. Now I can't find out say they not be only no, they may even not receive letters about this agreement.
Oh my goodness.
There are many things. So
China, because time they catch you, I get other questions that we're going to ask, especially about the thing them around this procurement. Based on the investigation, you get evidence say them buy computers, them buy accessories, them buy anything there, or you evidence to point something else with different.
There's no in fact that make we delay the story. Then I will not publish the other thing because we find out say when they give Infinity ICT and General Merchandise the contract in a corrupt way, different thing. But then go find a subcontractor. We're supposed to be an international. We're supposed to be some kind of a company we're based in America.
Yes.
For supply, no evidence. To answer your question, we have not found any evidence that procurement was actually these things were actually done.
Wow.
And that the computers, the way they use, if people the way they register right now, then look the computer, then you will find out saying a NACRA machines, and the NCRA machines, then they decide for just go take, because they have to look at the data.
Yes.
You know, existing data. So we not get until the Electoral Commission provide we with the evidence, say that actually we don't get delivery of the supplies. There is no such evidence. In fact, we don't write letter. We don't write letter to the Laxton group asking them how will I manage to get this contract? Almost them giving this contract, and we give them the evidence to show we say they don't pay una money, I receive this money, this invoice on again. We don't talk to people, and in fact they respond surprisingly. Then they say they get back.
Laxton group, not to them get the main contractor.
No. One small company in Freetown and give the contract. That company not get the capacity for doing.
So why would I go to Laxton group? Why? Make them understand.
So not get the but that all get for come now with story. With the hope, we will wait for the response of Laxton group for see what them go say how them.
So why would I come find out about Laxton group? How would I come?
Because we see the invoice on the 14th of June.
Okay.
We pass through. We see an invoice billed sent to the Electoral Commission, which supposedly now from Laxton. We don't even doubt the credibility of that invoice. It's possible to say a fake invoice.
Okay.
So we see this invoice from Laxton sent to the Electoral Commission on behalf of the local company in Freetown, Infinity Global and ICT Merchandise, this small company. Anyway, so what happened now? The money, then they request 10% from $2.2 million, which is somewhere around over $200,000. So sent on the 14th. The 15th, we see a letter again written by the Executive Secretary and the Finance Officer at the Electoral Commission to the Bank of Sierra Leone, asking them to pay money into. Now the invoice are from Laxton. When they pay the money, now to Infinity, the account na Freetown. They didn't pay. The commercial bank in Freetown, they didn't pay. Now, company there, America, they don't give a bill over $200,000. We're not ready for pay them.
Yes.
If not the actual the invoice, how will I go return? I go pay again the money in Freetown day to ICT. So why would I not receive invoice from the Infinity one? One aspect. The second question again, we don't see 2 weeks later again. We see over $400,000 sent. So all in all, we are talking about. Apart from this one again, there's another contract for the supply of generators and these solar power generators, which is portable. When they say light, then people have pay for over 1,800 generators the way they're supposed to get.
Wow.
Where they're supposed to, and these generators are supposed to be solar powered. We be saying now they are saying they're going up centers there, and that are over 1.2. I just look at the note now.
Sorry.
The second contract. Now over $1.2 million. Yeah, over $1.2 million for the supply of 1,850 portable rechargeable solar power generators.
Wow.
Together with 1,850 extension cords with surge protector accessories. This now another
time not the catch we, but I want to ask you this. In my lifetime as radio, I don't see they not make so many procurement laws, regulations, one by one and then that. Where they, especially them public companies, them companies the way they work for government or whatsoever, where they open the bid for award the contract, it's supposed to be public or it's supposed to be in secret. This one, then do them in public, they open the bid before all the bidders. We would not use for see or where it's supposed to happen, or they're not open them before all the bidders.
But there's so much. What I would just say in passing, since we run out of time, I will encourage people to read the story. Now, the fact that the procurement contract was awarded in complete violation of the procurement laws of Sierra Leone. No transparency, and they not comply with the bidding rules and regulations, including they would claim say Infinity that they submit the lowest bid. We don't find out say that's a lie.
So this is So this is like a case for the Anti-Corruption Commission. Just
Anti-Corruption.
Bring up the case for the Sierra Leone embassy, corruption.
Satisfy again, they will go say na who that they will.
Yes, on this side, you can't say na me. You say na me.
By the way, that the opposition and the advice back, opposition politicians, they will get their own 2020 agenda that they advise in this case.
My goodness.
To find out. Then they help
so the last question I get for you, and maybe this one a little bit significant. Any of the opposition members of parliament, the Salamina or the Yunkela or the Cherry Coco, they don't call you for tell you, say, hey, this is not serious accusation. You get evidence for let's send to me so that we will begin investigate this thing. Or the president herself, when a champion for fed corruption, you don't ever try to contact you for letting ask you, say, we are big. The evidence that we get sent on to we so that we go able to investigate NEC or the ECSL. They don't ever do that one day. Or the Anti-Corruption Commission as review. They don't call you for so okay, let's work with you so that you'll give you evidence of them till you don't find out.
No, now not just government or anti-corruption. A significant sector of the opposition, especially in parliament, they attack the African Express, as we see in the evidence of a member of the APC attacking the African Express on the Facebook page, to the disappointment of even APC supporters. Yes. We write a letter officially to Parliament asking whether this represents the opinion of the parliamentary wing of the APC. No response or acknowledgement.
I see that letter.
Not only that, now we get conclusive evidence showing that the leadership of opposition parties are trying to write off the African Express. They're not lekker, because for some of them, they want the corruption allegations from the COI and the GTT for stand on their own so-called comrades in the APC.
Yes.
That they help to amplify their own chances in becoming leaders of their own parties. They want their colleagues, opponents in the party, the internal party fight.
Yes.
They use anti-corruption, the court, and the government for settle that. That makes them not go lack with own corruption. Who they talk about murder bill, because that will make sure the murder bill not get the moral grounds.
Yes.
For hold anybody on corruption. So now with publications that we don't come to find out, they are the displeasure of the compromised sector of the opposition. Though the opposition people were they not called terrorists.
Yes, exactly. Because the opposition they two-way now. Yes.
Yeah. Now there are two segments. There is an opposition that is under siege, that is harassed, that is bullied, that is forced into silence, and the opposition that are the friends that dine and dances with the ruling party. They're opposition people, and they do not like go to the right. The supporters again, not like go to the right, they not like publications. They will understand now because they are not opposition.
Thank you.
They are opposition in daytime, at night they are in bed.
Thank you, Chana. Who's stand this publication they come because next Sunday again a program, where they continue this particular program, because we're going to talk about them in detail.
The publication not really done. We try to get the responses of the Electoral Commission and the other companies. So we will do just if they not do them, we will reflect inside the article and get them out. Okay. So I expect say from now to morning time, this for them be available on the African Express website and maybe on social media platforms and handles.
Mr. Chairman of the African Express, I have to take this opportunity to tell you thank you, and I will say to you, like I said the last time, for being near you, I for don't put my hand on you, for bless you. Like I'm mama and my daddy can do where they want to bless me. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Fambulem, that's not the word order you from chairman of the African Express. At the time I say African Express in reports, then they go global. We don't know, but I cannot talk about that too much. However, the fact that I want to take a small break, that will come now and close the program and tell you now why make with democracy, we believe so with all of this corruption, with all of this compromise, it's at stake. And we need to do something as Iranians for save with democracy.
Mr. Tracy, and I'm the British High Commissioner. I did talk to all Mr. Lomfambuleni for come out Nado and go register, because now you're right as citizen. So today, UK and Salone are out and about all over Freetown to observe voter registration. This is really important. For every person in Salone, it's your opportunity to make your voice heard at the ballot box. So register now from September the 3rd through to October the 4th. If you see we tell we adu.
in a yappy, then they talk, no she, no she. Corruption, corruption. It is so corruption, corruption. You good or you bad, you rich or you poor. Corruption, corruption. It is so corruption. Yeah. Back and go, back and go. We get gold, diamond, silver, and copper. Tell me, why still the guy like copper? Tell me, huh? This is corruption. However, who that it can beat? However, this corruption. However, who that it can beat? However, black man sorry na laugh. We're no bad, but then give it chop chop. Then get mine for chop, we let get grab. Then get half the golden hammer. Come on, on up.
If we do that, they will tell us say as the first 18 and I'm game over, no runoff. Yeah?
Yes, sir.
And at goal landing, all these voter registration, the goal now for make sure say from 2023 we win hands down, no runoff, no runoff, no runoff. Because we will get a chance for that, and we will give it and get hope. Not so.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you from the technical team. As we wrap up the program today, we want to tell you, Nationalinians, we don't start this program we call Democracy on the Brink. We don't highlight issues them where they within government, where they outside government, we can do with the opposition. We don't highlight issues them where the next SF, in their strategy, they don't tell me say the NCRA process, if they mix up with the registration of voters, it will be a threat to the process. Not to be said, it's from their document. But yet still, we don't see them continue to put them they put them in place for just and then they enforce them more at the APC and the opposition stronghold because now they don't say it go delay, it go bring up boku thing, it will make people they not get chance to register much. But what they say, we have to tell Honorable Cherikoko and the 21-man committee, so we get for demand now from NEC for say we get for extend the time of registration because this registration, we now want to see registration as a 15 days. This registration now 15 days, and 15 days not do for make we all register based on all of the problems. So even if we not want for call NEC for halt the process now, at least una for begin ask NEC or ECSL for say begin think about how you extend this date for registration so that all man will register because we'll not get time for talk about that because in their documents, in SSF, the ECSL, their own document, when the strategy, they talk a lot about transparency, how inclusivity supposed to happen because they need to conduct election for themselves, they conduct election for the people of Sudan, they conduct election for political parties. So I want for left una, as we end the program, tell TNA, thank you, and the people that will listen to we for say to una, plenty thank you because I mean I'm new. I don't use to let them interview me. I know one day I present a program, but I think say when I make the assessment, I will come back. I will read the comment because you're not good for read text now. I will know if I for come next week with this program again on Sunday or I not for come. If I'm not going to present, when I tell me say, oh Mohamed or Warisay, you're not going to present. Do not go talk about this thing or not go talk again at our program. Just go for let them go interview you. So until we meet tonight again, the wise words for today, we come from your mama. What I believe say, instead get from your mama, now that you no go plant cassava and root cocoa. So that what they in meaning, white man say, you reap what you sow. Where you jamfa people, where you jamfa your friends, where you jamfa somebody where trust you, where believe in you. Other person where you believe in, get for jamfa you back. Until we meet next Sunday with this program, A Democracy on the Brink. I have to tell you that tata, I have to tell you that thank you and say goodbye.
Mr. Mohamed Warisay, before we go to the people, we eventually get for make the decision on how great your program was. Okay. I've been doing this for quite a number of years now, and resume can speak for itself. that at
Yes.
least I can try to put a stamp to it. And I must say that you did brilliantly well, brilliantly
Yes.
well. And in this you made and show, brother,
Thank you.
I say that it will go a long way for people for remember because
Yeah.
what you do was quite professional. Not many people do what you can do, and I'm telling you this from the depth of my heart.
Thank you.
Not many people can do what you do. You broke down your first program into segments, and all
Yeah.
of the segments then you did quite well because you carry them out. Except people in the background we understand how you plan them because those that are watching did not know
Yes.
how you plan it, but it did come out well.
Yes.
And the introduction of the Cherno Bar, yeah, for a short period of time was
Yeah.
equally phenomenal. And that will go down and at the history books as well. I
Thank
want
you.
to say
Thank
thank
you so much.
you, and I believe that your show, we don't make the judgment based on numbers now on the maiden show. The maiden
Yeah.
show is you. Now how you perform and waiting for happen in the next one, which I believe say it get for grow
Okay.
because I sit down at the background all along, they watch exactly what you say. I want to say thank you, and I know this is quite promising. And the bottom line is, it's not about the numbers, brother. It's
Yeah.
about waiting we intend for do the
Yes.
message that we intend for carry, and that
Good.
message was spot on. Thank you
Good.
so much, Mr. Warisay, and God bless you, brother.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Welcome. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. We've come to a brilliant end of the Mohamed Warisay episode 1, a maiden program. It was a blast. I enjoyed every moment of it because I'm in the background watching. And I know the man is going to improve and grow into this program. The guest we bring come briefly was equally phenomenal. Of course, no surprise. But once again, we've come to the end of another brilliant, brilliant program. Until next week, it might not be specific on next week because the news is breaking. We might decide for bring channel about the Africanist press because the news is so pressing, including Mohamed Warisay as well, because he's got content. In a content creator, this is what we're talking about. But until then, it has been a then and now program, and I want to tell you thank you for watching. Please, please share the program. Okay, let other people help for make the decision. Don't be selfish. I have been Prince E. Chroma in the background, but this has been a Mohamed Warisay show, a maiden show, and I want to tell you thank you for watching. Goodbye now until we catch up again. Ta-da.